recording has begun.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Shazad Hussain and I live at 20 Primary Way in Undercliff, Bradford. And today it's been 128 days. 128 days since my brother's been kidnapped from my care. For the last 128 days since the 8th of August 2023, he was taken by West Yorkshire Police and in collaboration with the Bradford Council, who are the architects and one of the great architects that are spearheading all this nefarious, villainous actions being perpetrated against me and my family for the last, I would say 20, 30, maybe 40 years. Yes, since 1983 is when my older brother Nazim became ill with mental health problems, and he became known to the services, the local services, healthcare services and the local authority and West Yorkshire Police in 1983. And then we were known to the family since then. In 1992, nearly 9 or 10 years later, nearly a decade later, his wife died of cancer, leaving the surviving 3 children, which were taken into family court system, where we were subjected to. And then, yes, I took over in 2000, the year 2000, tried to do everything properly, tried to get everything on board, tried to fix the family, the dysfunctional family, made it very functional only for the local authority, to become a victim to the local authority. So, anyway, 23 years later, and here we are today, having my brother taken away from me, having my mother murdered off, having my older brother murdered off, having my father murdered off. Everybody's died now. Everybody's been, my brother's Talib's been kidnapped. All my money's been taken, all my property, all my right to private life, family life. Everything's been violated and abused by this decrepit local authority who are lying, cheating criminals. So what's the biggest development today? Well, I wrote off to the Chief Constable, once again urging them to return my brother to me, because they've got no legal basis to take him. I mean, 5 years ago, they had some sort of contrivance or a pretext that, it's because he's a very ill person and we're doing it for his safety and health welfare. So this is how they kidnapped him 5 years ago under the pretext of, sectioning him under the Mental Health Act. That was clearly a contrivance. I am the one that put in a safeguarding alert in, saying that he's being neglected in the community now that you've made our villainous evil brother Adal in charge of his finances, not getting any access to any money. So when I put a safeguarding alert in 5 years ago, what ultimately happened is the authorities got involved, the Office of the Public Guardian got involved, everybody got involved, only just so that they can kidnap him on the 3rd of August to commit acts of villainy against him. It took me a great deal of effort, to get him back into my care. So he was released back into my care today, of the 14th of December 2018. That's when I managed to get him released from the hospital sanctioning him. And he came released back into my care. The same day that he was released back into my care, the local authority then started to instigate welfare proceedings for my mother. So that's what happened a year ago. They really desperately trying to get control of the situation back again, or abduct my brother. They went to Oldham, to where we had taken my brother, to send police over so that they could somehow instigate a contrivance so they can somehow get control of the situation and get my brother back. But obviously that we survived that, only for them to then subsequently instigate court of protection proceedings in relation to my mother, so they can take custody of her. So I've been fighting since 2019 onwards until 2022, January 2022, fighting the whole local authority, the courts, and the High Court judges and everybody else, trying to secure my mother's life. By February 2021, they've at the height of the pandemic, they've kicked me out, taken control of the situation, and starting to care for my mother in clear deprivation of her liberty. And now they're doing the same thing with my brother. It's been 128 days. I have absolutely no idea whether he's alive or dead, or what kind of condition they're holding him under. This is just simply deplorable. They're like gangsters, mafia cartel gangsters that are doing this to harm and alarm and distress us out. But so that's the first thing. I've contacted the Chief Constable, John Robbins, today. Once again, I've sent him several emails. He's in on it. He's obviously, if he was impartial, he would listen to me. I'm just asking them to return my brother to me. They can't just take a kidnap somebody like this on a simple contrivance. But the big news today is I learnt that Bradford Council is on the brink of bankruptcy. Well, that's obviously good news for me. I mean, it's obviously not good news for the residents, but then of Bradford. But the reality is that this local authority has been trying to bankrupt me for the last 10 years, directly trying to bankrupt me for the last 10 years, sending me to prison, murdering off my family members. So can you understand? In them, I'm obviously going to rejoice in their misery because they're creating misery and anguish and despairingness in me. So why should I not? So they're acting as literally my enemies, trying to kick me out the city, kidnap my family members, remove all my money. They've got a personal vendetta against me because I'm looking to expose their fraud and corruption. So when they're going bankrupt, what do you think that's not going to be a positive for me? Of course it's positive for me. The council are going bankrupt because they've got no money and they've been mismanaging the money. And they're going to blame the government all they want, but the reality is that nobody's telling them to do what they've been doing to me. So yeah, I just leave it there. I just wanted to make a quick recording regarding the fact that the local authority are going bankrupt, yet they're holding on to my brother and refusing to release him back into my care when they know the fact that that's the only best option for him. They're just simply filled with hubris and pride, with a sense of they have superiority, hubris and pride and superiority. Completely ridiculous. I'll leave it there. Allah Hafiz.